All right, welcome back. We are here with Greg McCall, the women's head coach for CSUB. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. So let's talk. You lose Alexis Gilbert.
Yes.
How do you even replace somebody like her?
It's going to be tough. I mean, she was a tenacious player, high-intensity player. Did a lot of scoring for us. Each year you always lose somebody, so you try to prepare as best you can, but sometimes it's really hard to be able to do that.
And she's playing overseas now, correct?
Yeah, she's playing in Bosnia. Yes.
Are you still able to keep up with her a little bit?
Yeah, we talk quite often, and she's been doing very well over there. She's got an MVP in a couple tournaments, so it's not something surprising. She's a really good player, so I'm very proud of her.
And Washington is one of those games on your non-conference schedule. When looking at that and building that non-conference schedule, what do you hope to accomplish?
Of course, a win, but we definitely want to see ourselves go in there and compete first and foremost, and continue to get better each game, and then hopefully come out on top with the win. And that's always the goal, is to compete and continue to get better.
I know you guys went to Puerto Rico for your foreign tour. How was that?
Oh, it was so fun.
What was your favorite part?
Actually, going into Old San Juan and looking at all the forts, which they call castles as well too. That was really, really nice and really interesting, how they built those things and the hard work it took to be able to build them. But of course, hanging out at the beach is always fun.
Right, we'll never complain. Do you think those foreign tours really help with team bonding, both on and off the court? Definitely.
It gave us a great educational experience, because we also included it as a class as well too. So we made it into a class. So we had to go to a class before we even went. So they did that, as well as then when they got there to be the bonding part of the community service part of it, and then also the basketball, and being able to do all those things there and just hang out as a team and get a little bit of relaxation in there as well too.
What was the community service project you guys did?
We painted a parking lot, and we painted a rail, and we painted a couple sheds because of the people that are still recovering from the hurricane, and that's been about 3 or 4 years now. They've been going through that, so it's been a long process for them to be able to go through that.
Last season, you guys were middle of the pack in rebounds and blocks. Is that something you're putting an emphasis on for this upcoming season?
Definitely on the rebounding. Definitely on the rebounding part. We definitely want to continue to improve upon that and continue to get better on that on both ends of the floor, offensively as well as defensively. And so definitely it's one of those areas.
All right, Coach. Well, I will toss you over to the media now.
Uh-oh.
The runners are picked middle of the pack by both the coaches and the media. Is that a fair assessment?
I think so. I mean, when you lose somebody like Alexis Gilbert, I can see the coaches, saying, okay, well, they lost a top player, first team all-conference player, player that did so much for us, did a lot of the scoring, led us on the floor, led us off the floor, tough leader. And then you lose Jasmine Johnson, who was a tenacious defender, who can get to the basket. You lose all that speed, and then you lose Malaysia McHenry, who's a force inside, and then she could step out and shoot the three. When you lose those three girls like that, and all three of them are our leading scorers, yeah, you about right. I would suspect the coaches to be able to pick us right there.
With regard to losing all that, how do you replace it? Who are some of the new players or current players on from last year that you're going to look to fill those roles, to fill that scoring gap, to not take the drop off that maybe some might expect you would after losing your top three scorers? Right.
Well, we still have Vanessa Austin on the inside, who this is going in her junior year, and she's improved tremendously. I mean, each year she's gotten better and better and better, and so I think this will be a really good year for her, as well as Ashley Austin, who's a freshman last year, who came along late for us. She started playing like probably a little bit right before like the seventh game into the season. She started playing for us, and she played well, led us in scoring a few times. Had a couple big games, 30-point games, where she can put the ball in the basket. So that Austin combination is going to be good for us. And then we still have some Miracle Saxon, who came in almost midway through the season for us and started playing really well. So we're looking forward to these young ladies. They're the two freshmen, Miracle and Ashley Austin, who now going to be sophomores. We're looking for them to step into that role and continue to have that same impact that Alexis and Jasmine Johnson had.
Coach, your schedule includes road trips to Washington and Oregon State. How do those trips to successful Power 5 programs help you prepare for league play?
Oh, definitely. You know, when you're playing against some of the top programs in the nation, it helps tremendously, you know, because you're trying to compete and you're trying to continue to get better. And as you continue to compete against these teams, and if you do have any type of success, you know, whether it's success of just getting better at that game, or if you have any success of even just winning that game, it just continues to make you better as a program. It continues to put you out on the right path of getting ready to go into the conference, preparing you well for the conference, because the conference is tough. I don't care how many teams, you know, you play in the preseason. When you get to that conference, nobody scouts you better than conference player. The coaches in the conference do. You know, you're playing each other twice. You're watching each other all season long. And that intensity of just being ready to step up into that conference brings a whole nother level of a different season.
So you have one daughter playing in the WNBA, another daughter who used to play in the WNBA. And
Still is.
Yeah.
She's still playing.
Both
yeah,
are.
both of them still are, yeah.
And your son Justin plays on the CSUB men's team. Mm-hmm. How do you find time to watch them when you're coaching, and do you learn anything from watching their games?
Oh, yeah. I'm always learning, and as well as critiquing them still, too. So I'm still dad. I'm dad first and coach second. And I've been so blessed. A lot of people ask, like, man, did your kids listen to you when you were growing up? And I hear horror stories about, hey, my kid just doesn't listen to me. I played the game, I coached the game, but they don't listen, so I had to let them go to somewhere else. And I've been blessed to where my kids have listened to me in that part, which has helped out with my program, because they see my kids come into practice, especially my daughters. They'll come in sometimes, they'll have a break, and they'll come over and they'll come into practice with us, and I'm coaching them, and then it just helps our players to see that, because now the line I always use, I'm not going to tell you anything that I haven't told my own kids, and they see that, and so it makes it easier for us to continue with the players that we have in our program. And having the time to do it all, I don't know how I do it. I look back at it, but I figure it out. Now with everything with social media, I'm watching games like Erica played today when I was here, and didn't get a chance to watch it because I was doing the other social media stuff, but she was playing over in Hungary. I'll get a chance to watch DeWanna play later on this week, a couple games, and then Justin, when I get a chance to watch him play at home, I'm there at those games, and then we're on the road, I'm watching him on there. And so then my other son, he's high school, so I try to get to some of his games as well too.
Greg, I asked Coach Barnes this when we talked to him, but what are your thoughts about it being the last year in the WAC for Bakersfield, kind of what it's maybe meant to you as a coach to be part of it and so forth?
I could tell you this, being part of the WAC is just been an honor and a privilege for us at CSUB, and somebody that gave us an opportunity to get our program up and started. We making that long journey of being independent and just trying to find games throughout the whole entire season. At the back end of it, we were doing like a football schedule. I think we had like a game a week, when trying to find out when people were playing they're in their bye week, and it was tough. And then the WAC accepted us, and we can't thank them enough for it. And for me, especially because it gave me an opportunity to be able to say that I had a place I can call home, and I can really relax and feel comfortable and getting to know everybody that's been a part of my life. And when it came to the conference, and our very first conference, and for our women's basketball program, is huge. It kind of gave us a spotlight, a platform to build on, because this is our 20th season with women's basketball. We started this thing in 2000, so we're celebrating our 20th season. And so for us, without the WAC, we wouldn't be able to celebrate it and have that high platform of being able to recognize our program nationally.
I know you're going to miss the travel of the WAC. What was your favorite WAC city to visit with your team?
I was just talking about that. I have two cities that I really am going to truly miss, and not because of the weather, it's because of the food. Kansas City, their barbecue, and Chicago, because of their pizza. I love that Giordano's pizza there. And we had a player that played for us who's from Chicago, and her dad owned a spot there called Harold's Chicken that's famous throughout Chicago, and it's really good. So we're going to miss that.
All right, Coach. Well, we do have a Giordano's here now in Denver, so if you have time before you get on a flight tonight, you should check it out.
Yes, I think I might have to do that.
Well, Coach, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
All right, thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
We'll be joined by Misty Opat coming up next. Stay right there.
Dropping the mic.